addiction may seem like two very different topics, but they aren't, to put it bluntly. From my prior knowledge, I knew of ADHD as a dysfunction of the brain, where finding motivation to do what was deemed a hard task was almost impossible for these individuals to start or complete. I also knew that most medications for people with ADHD do not enjoy how the medication makes them feel, making it hard to deal with this dysfunction. While there is no real solid evidence of the link between ADHD and addiction, I still feel like there is a correlation between the two. So let's start with what is ADHD? Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, is a neurodevelopmental condition characterized by symptoms of inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. It has been proven that individuals with ADHD are at a higher risk for developing behavioral addictions, such as problematic social media or internet use. It was also found that individuals with ADHD are more likely to own a gaming console and more likely to play and own games, and they may show signs of probable internet gaming disorder, which is an addiction to playing video games as a coping mechanism, as silly as that sounds. In a study published in 2024 on the prevalence of depression, ADHD, and anxiety among individuals attempting to quit smoking, they found that individuals with ADHD struggle with an addiction at a higher rate, and also that ADHD patients are at a significant risk for substance use, particularly for cannabis and cocaine, with a 40% prevalence of lifetime diagnosis of substance use disorders. While there is no solid research or evidence of the link between these two, I decided to interview two people with diagnosed ADHD. The first person I interviewed was Matthew Gary, and the second person I interviewed was Casey Jenkins. And to just put it out there, ADHD is a wide spectrum, so the difference between these two is really telling. You know, I wrote this question and I don't even know what it means. Incidence and prevalence of ADHD in our society?
I mean, that's a good question. What is the incidence and prevalence of ADHD in our society?
Yeah.
I think the incidence is very huge. I mean, you see more and more occurrences of it, but the prevalence in it, I would say, has always been there. It's always been a part of society. It's just that recently we've been able to pick up on it more and are able to detect it or even diagnose it. But I would say it's always been a part of our society, whether if some people have just been recognized as different or erratic in our society. We haven't been able to exactly have a list of diagnoses, so
Before my interview with Matthew, I had him read my research project back from 2024 that I had made for our class, because it, coincidentally, is also about the link between ADHD and addiction. After reading it, do you think that people with ADHD are more vulnerable to addiction?
I think it is very possible, as with people with ADHD, they're more prone to impulsivity and hyperactivity, so there is more likely of a chance that they will do things on impulse, which could possibly lead to addiction-forming habits. But at the same time, I feel like mostly they have the same amount of the possibility of gaining addictions as the rest of us, since really it's not that they have these extra challenges, is that their brains just work differently.
So how would ADHD change like a person's mindset and make them different?
I would say people with ADHD, they're more likely to seek instant dopamine, so they're more likely to focus on getting something now than focusing on the long term. So they might just focus on what they need to do day by day rather than thinking of doing things that'll help them out in weeks or months in advance. They may just focus on making sure they're happy just for that day, or focusing on what they need to survive that entire day instead of thinking out a week or a month.
Casey, my first question for you is, when you were first diagnosed, did it help you to know about it?
Well, I was first diagnosed when I was about 4 years old, so it's a little bit before my memory, I guess. But I do remember my mom having to come in kindergarten and like watch me, kindergarten, and watch me, and to make sure I behaved in class because I would act like insane. I was much more energetic than everybody else, and I wouldn't really listen. I would say that it definitely impacted me because I got put on very heavy medications for my ADHD and at a very young age. And so that definitely impacted like a million different parts of my development.
Yeah.
I remember, you remember seeing me all the time at lunch, you know?
Yeah.
I would fully make a bussin' looking sandwich. Thinking about it now, I really want one. At lunch, where I make the sandwich and I don't eat it. I look at it.
All the mayonnaise you would spread all over it.
What a juicy sandwich. Anyway, sorry, I rambled a lot.
It's okay.
Yeah, it really fucks up your appetite.
Can you elaborate on any other ways that going on medication has affected you?
Yeah, I feel like besides just the complete loss of appetite, like, and the medication was like a 24-hour release, so it was like an all-day thing, much stronger in the beginning of the day. But I would I would say that when I was very heavily medicated when I was younger, I just kind of felt empty or numb. I remember being very young and explaining to my mom that I just felt like a zombie all the time, like to quote my younger self. I feel like that's the other big way that it's definitely affected me.
Is your mood?
Yeah,
Like
my mood, just my entire mindset. Like I'm able to execute tasks much more efficiently, but being so hopped up on amphetamines, basically meth, at such a young age, was just it was just too much medication for such a little kid.
Yeah.
And I was very underweight because of the appetite loss as well. So, yeah.
Do you think having ADHD makes you more susceptible to having addictions?
It definitely did. I wanted to talk about how ADHD has made me had such an addictive personality. First addiction was definitely video games. When you have ADHD, to a certain point, when you start something big or are just need to do something, it feels like you're going to you already kind of are prepared to fail. You're so used to failure because you can't focus or stay on topic to actually finish something. People, they're always jumping between projects and stuff like that. They can't stay focused. So they're already so prepared for failure. And another thing about ADHD people is that they thrive in chaos. So what do you do when you thrive in, you already know you're gonna fail and you thrive in chaos, so you just fail and then that creates a very chaotic situation. Ding ding ding, we can thrive now. And I feel like that's what made it it looks like procrastination and it seems like they're addicted to it, but at the same time they're sitting there and they're like, Jesus Christ, why can't I do this?
No, I just want to ask, because in my paper, it talks about how people with ADHD will self-medicate in a way with playing video games. I just wanted to know about how you cope or deal with having ADHD, what you use to make your brain be happy.
Oh, definitely video games. When I discovered them, I can't remember, I think I was probably around 5th or 4th grade when I discovered video games, and I just fell in love. Video games are definitely a source of just pure fucking bliss for me as somebody with ADHD. It definitely also plays into devices that people will go to I smoke tons of weed to help cope with it. It also helps helps me have an appetite because, as I said, when I was previously medicated, it really mess with my appetite, and so marijuana is kind of it definitely was a way for me to like just be hungry. Eventually addicted personality.
Wonderful, thank you.
Of course.